Thanks for downloading another segment from the Best of the Classic Metal Show. The Classic Metal Show is heard live on Saturdays from 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. Eastern, exclusively at www.theclassicmetalshow.com. And now here's another piece of Classic Metal Show history on the Best of the Classic Metal Show.
The Classic Metal Show.
Let's talk about this iTunes debacle.
All right, let's talk about it.
Last week we brought it to your attention that the Classic Metal Show, Best of the Classic Metal Show, was removed from iTunes.
Yes.
You had received an email from iTunes indicating that the Best of the Classic Metal Show podcast was being removed.
Yes, I did.
But they didn't give you a reason.
Not at first. They did not.
So rather than just sit back and say, oh, okay, they're removing us, you, of course, had to follow up with them to find out what is the deal.
Yeah, well, while it is not necessarily a do or die that we be in the iTunes store, it's still pretty good. I mean, it's good exposure for us. A lot of people use iTunes, and a lot of people have discovered the show because of iTunes.
Sure.
We'll definitely acknowledge that.
Sure. And we put some of our funniest bits up there.
Yeah, sure.
So iTunes, a very popular download source or reference source, listed the Classic Metal Show, the Best of the Classic Metal Show podcast in their iTunes store, which is where a lot of people find their things. The Classic Metal Show podcast was the second most downloaded podcast in the quote-unquote heavy metal podcast category.
That is correct.
All right. So you had written to iTunes and asked them, what the deal was. How come we were removed?
Right, of course.
And they responded to you with a fairly lengthy email that says, Dear Chris, thank you for your patience while I waited to hear back from our podcast team regarding the reason that your podcast, The Best of the Classic Metal Show, was removed from the iTunes store.
Right.
I apologize for the delay in my response, but I have just today heard back.
Mm-hmm.
Your podcast was removed because the iTunes store received a complaint about the content of your podcast violating copyright laws.
Right.
In order to have the podcast republished on the iTunes store, you'll need to review your podcast and confirm that you have the rights to use any recordings contained within the podcast.
Correct.
Well, you and I both know that we do not include any copywritten music.
No, we don't.
In our podcast, that is music that is copywritten by signed bands that are signed to a record label.
That is correct.
We don't use any music.
No, we don't.
So we ruled that out immediately.
And I mean, to the effect that even when we do segments where we do use music, like the Chinese Democracy segment that we did, the first one that we did on the countdown to Chinese Democracy, where you played Shackler's Revenge. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Right in the middle of it?
Yes.
I went to the effort of going into the wave and cutting the song out.
Right.
I mean, we don't play copywritten music, so there was no chance that was what we violated.
Exactly. So they continue, once you've reviewed and confirmed this information, you are welcome to resubmit your podcast. So basically, they'll pull your podcast down, but they'll put it right back up if you resubmit it.
Right.
If you have received a message that the feed has already been submitted, the iTunes store is detecting that the podcast is a duplicate. Please follow these steps to resubmit your podcast, and they give you all this set of instructions,
yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
Some technical shit, right.
I hope this information is helpful to you today, Chris. We appreciate your business and want you to have the best possible experience with the iTunes store.
Well, thank you.
So, being that was a very vague answer, and we kind of knew where this was coming from, you wanted them to pinpoint it for you.
Well, I wanted to be sure that when I reposted the podcast that it wouldn't get yanked right back down.
Exactly. So, you wrote them back a very professionally written email.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Mike. Thank you for the information. I appreciate that. Hail and kill, caller. You're on the air.
You copyright violating bastards. You're going to be sharing a communal shower with Eddie Trunk in jail.
Are you wishing that on us, or is that a fantasy of yours?
No, I'm just fucking with you.
Nice.
Fuck you, pal.
Fuck you. Nice. Doghouse. All right. Thank you for the information. I appreciate it. Can you identify a few things for me so I am sure that in the future we don't have this issue once again? First, can you please let me know what file or files are said to have violated any copyright? Okay. Second, has the actual copyright been verified? The reason I ask is that we do a segment on our show where we critique and criticize content that is on the web. By doing this, we play portions of the audio and we comment on it. By definition of the copyright law, we are protected under fair use. By definition of fair use is any copy or copywritten material done for limited and transformative purposes such as to comment upon, criticize, or parody a copyrighted work. Such uses can be done without permission from the copyright owner. Another way of putting this is that the fair use is a defense against infringement. This is what we do. We do not play any audio without commenting or criticizing it on our show, which by definition would not be any violation of a copyright law. So we are allowed to use audio that's available out there as long as we're commenting or criticizing or using it as a parody.
Sounds like I knew my shit on this one.
Yeah, I would say. I'm not bringing this up to argue the point, but moreover to ensure that once I repost our podcast that it won't be taken down again under a false pretense. Since I assume the segment in questions were disputed by the folks at Talking Metal, trademark, I want to ensure that our content is not being removed from the iTunes store without basis. Simply put, we appreciate the service that iTunes provides and have always worked within your standards. We want to be sure that idle complaints about content that is not necessarily nice isn't removed for any other than true violations of your terms. Thank you for your continued help with this situation. So you covered every possible angle that anybody could make an argument against.
Well, if from anything, I'm thorough.
Uh-oh. I got an email.
Okay, from who?
I guess either you guys hung up or my phone went out of service. Either way, thanks for calling. I was saying right before it ended, I have a sale item page of reduced pieces that I have made on hand right now, ready to go out. If anyone wants to order, I can get it out on Monday. Thanks, Victor the Snake Man, Las Vegas and Hollywood. Jewelry designer to the stars.
Oh, good. Well, there we go.
Sorry, Snake Man, your phone must have cut out or something.
It's that Las Vegas. It's bad cellular area.
It's out there in the desert.
Nice.
Sorry. I appreciate you writing back, though. And, yeah, we were worried about you, so glad to.
That's nightvisions.com, correct? Night Creations?
Night Creations, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So if you guys are looking for some jewelry, nightcreations.com.
Sure. All right, get back to the iTunes here.
Yes.
So the follow-up continues from iTunes.
Mm-hmm.
And they're kind enough to write you back in detail.
Mm-hmm.
He writes back, "Hello, Chris. This content was removed due to a DMCA notice received by..." Too bad you don't have your drum roll over there.
I know. I was thinking the same thing.
This content was removed due to a DMCA notice we received by John J. Ostrowski and Mark Striggle doing business as Talking Metal, claiming alleged copyright and trademark infringement of the podcast below. Please contact the complainant directly at talkingmetal@yahoo.com to obtain more specific details and to resolve any concerns you may have. Best regards, Shandani Patel.
Yeah. Thank you, Shandani.
So iTunes basically confirmed for us that it was John Ostrowski and Mark Striegel of Talking Metal who claimed we were infringing on their copyright and trademark.
Right. Well, I know we personally are going to have something to say about this legally. But I wonder if our fans have any concerns about this about the podcast being removed for an alleged trademark. What do you think?
I would think they would, only because there is no copyright on a podcast.
Well, there could be. But even if there is a copyright on it,
we're still allowed to use it.
We're allowed to use it within fair use. And if anybody would like to look that up to give these fucking two dumb motherfuckers the idea of where they can look, tell them to look in the copyright code, sections 107 and 108.
Right.
So,
Nathan from Kentucky says, I'm going to copyright my foot in Mark and John's ass.
Well, you guys, I'm going to put the link in the chat room right now, and of course, if anybody wants to purchase this, it is available in the CMS store. I created a new coffee mug today, complete with the email about Mark and John trying to stop us printed on it.
So you replied back to Shandani.
Yes, I did.
Thank you very much. This is what I needed. Just one last question, though, and I'll move on. Is there any sort of review process that is involved in this? The reason I ask is that while they claim copyright infringement, by my interpretation, this is incorrect. They don't own a copyright. They own a trademark, at least, excuse me. As far as doing a research at the U.S. Copyright Agency online states. Further, our use of their audio to critique, criticize, or parody is protected by U.S. copyright law under fair use, which I believe is in Section 107 and 108 of the law.
Right.
The reason I am asking you this is that, and I'm putting it in writing here to assure you this, I am not looking to file any legal complaint against iTunes. More to the point, I am looking to ensure that if I do repost our podcast as we move forward, that these same people will not be able to again shut us down with a false claim, as I feel is the case in this instance. I'm looking for some kind of an indicator from iTunes that the validity of the claim is being checked rather than just merely taking down our broadcast. So please let me know.
Oh, I sound real educated there.
Boy, I tell you, you could be a shithouse lawyer.
Yeah, I could be.
Nice. And let me see if there was any further. Did you have any further? Yeah, we did. You
did?
You think you did?
I don't know. If we did, it was just more to the fact of, we have to take it up with the complainant.
Right. Hello, Chris. Please note that the DMCA provides no room for us to exercise discretion once we receive a formal DMCA notice, and that we are simply complying with the requirements of the law by removing the link to your podcast from our directory. While we are unable to provide you with any legal advice, I must suggest that you consult the DMCA on your own legal advisor to understand your options. Should you believe that the DMCA notice provided to us was false, as you say?
So iTunes is saying sue them.
Yeah, basically he said, take it up with them legally.
Well, we do have a lawyer on staff.
Yeah, we do have a corporate attorney who is drafting a letter, and we will be serving them with a cease and desist this week.
Next week?
This week.
This week, so Mark and John are going to get a cease and desist from us this week.
Yeah. So knock it off, assholes.
Well, I would like to advise everybody of a couple of changes that, because of this, have been made. You know, first and foremost, you can buy this cup that has the letter stating that Mark and John submitted the DMCA notice falsely. You know, it's a nice looking cup, I gotta say. That is the first thing. But second of all, and this is the absolute truth, so don't everybody start doubting me, but should we be taken down from iTunes again, we have a backup in place so that you guys will never not have the ability to get the CMS Best of Podcast. As everybody knows, or maybe some of you don't know, and I've fooled you in the past, we have sent you to Meatspin many times under the link talkingmetal.net. However, this week you went into the account this week, Neeley, and you
redirected.
What's that?
I redirected the domain talkingmetal.net.
Yes, it no longer points to Meatspin. Instead, it points to our podcast. Should you ever need it? So if you ever want to catch up with the Classic Metal Show's podcast, please feel free to go to talkingmetal.net.
Forgive me, sir, for speaking so bluntly. Those fags make me want to puke my fucking guts out.
Like what Kurgan said, Talking Metal plays copyrighted music. Let's complain.
No, I'm not going to stop him from doing that.
Well, Kurgan, much like iTunes, I can't give you any legal or any other kind of advice, but if they got taken down because the iTunes received complaints, I sure wouldn't be unhappy.
You fuck up the bag, you lose the lunch.
Thank you. Was that Dan Lorenzo?
No, that's our pal from that Angel band.
Oh, Angel.
Not Angel.
I don't remember his name.
Not
Whatever his name
Angel.
was.
Not Angel, but shit.
Fifth Angel or
no, not Fifth Angel.
whatever. Who cares?
They're the New York band. I can't think of their name.
I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Yeah, that band, Cunt Angel.
I am loving this.
Thank you, Rev.
All right.
So I will give Talking Metal credit. They did get us taken down for what, 3 days, 4 days?
4 days.
For 4 days. And we do have to start over with our comments, which I don't know if that's bad or good.
And our rating, of course.
And our rating.
But I noticed how quickly we're climbing right back up the charts already.
Of course we are.
We were down there at like number 12. We're down like at number 4 now.
That's good. So give it a month. We'll be right back there.
Shove it in your ass.
That's right. Shove it right in there. And I'm wondering, what do you think, man? Should I not include until the message is served to our good buddies over there at Talking Metal? I guess I won't put up the Chinese Democracy podcasts.
You little son of a bitch.
What do you think? Should I leave them down for a couple of days until Fred does his work?
Yeah, I would say leave it down and then smash them again.
All right. Well, yeah. As soon as they're served, it'll go right back on there.
Would you like
Exclusive.
to buy some Weeblo hot dog?
Why do these boys want to force us to get legal with them?
I don't know.
You know, that's fine though. Yeah, I know you don't care. You're like, all right, let's play.
Right. It's funny.
So enjoy your legal action there, stupid. You guys thought that you could hide and do it from behind mommy's skirt, but this time you can't.
Right.
This time we're gonna fucking take it out of you. You stupid.
How cool is that?
It really is my opinion that they fucking suck.
Right.
I just wish to God that one of them was doing the Talking Metal podcast because the other one was in fucking some kind of coma from bad AIDS drugs.
Amazing.
Yes, that is amazing, isn't it? Oh, trademark infringement! Trademark! DMCA!
It's amazing.
DMCA!
You called down the thunder, well now you got it.
Well, they do kind of have it. So there you go. If anybody wants to contact Talking Metal and wish them a good job, tell them that they did a great job at shutting our podcast down for like 3 or 4 days and convincing me to completely reconfigure our podcast so that basically we're not dependent on iTunes.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I want to thank them for that because I didn't realize how dependent we were on iTunes.
Mm-hmm.
But now that we're reconfigured to where we don't care about if it's with iTunes or not, we just would like to keep it there. Thanks, boys. Appreciate that. So if anybody else wants to thank them for that, talkingmetal@yahoo.com, is that where iTunes said to send concerns about this complaint that was filed?
That's what they said.
So iTunes told us to send any complaints, concerns to talkingmetal@yahoo.com.
Right.
All right, well then that's what we'll do. If anybody has any concerns or complaints, feel free.
Right.
And please, no porn. That would be wrong. Do not email them any porn.
Or spam.
No spam. Don't sign them up for any spam. That would be not right. All of that would be bad. So don't do that.
Forgive me, sir, for speaking so bluntly. Those fags make me want to puke my fucking guts out.
Oh. And buy the cup. The CMS cannot be stopped coffee mug.
Right. What do you think of that, Steven?
You got a new breed of animal coming out of this ranch.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I wonder if they'll countersue us with their GoDaddy earnings.
Yeah, okay. Couple of broke dicks.
Yeah. Well, they've got all the money from the second season of Talking Metal on Feud. Oh. Apparently not. Eddie Trunk stole that dream.
Yeah, that dream. He crushed their dream.
Eddie Trunk crushed their dream.
Thanks for checking out the best of the Classic Metal Show. You can tune into the Classic Metal Show live every Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. Eastern, exclusively at www.theclassicmetalshow.com.
The Classic Metal Show.